Welcome. Sorry we're starting a few minutes late. We had a co-organizer volunteer meeting outside and all of a sudden I wasn't welcome. How many of you here for the first time? Got a bunch of people. Great. Welcome. I think you'll find tonight valuable and hopefully you'll join us for future meetup groups as we move forward. My name is Chris Taylor, one of the co-organizers of the Bay Area eBay e-commerce seller meetup groups. By day I run marketing for a company called PageMate, and then every other second with co-organizers and volunteers doing other things with our media groups and trying to do things of value for all of you. I wanted a little bit of housekeeping. As always, thank eBay for hosting us, as they've done. It's probably like the 6th month in a row or so. Our group grew so large. We had a big eBay event back in roughly the summer. Our group grew a lot, and we outgrew all the other venues we had up the peninsula. So right now, this is the only place we've been able to meet in recent months. But soon, next month, Nancy will talk about where another location we're going to have. But we do want to have meetups every other month up the peninsula. We know there's some of you travel. How many of you, anybody from San Francisco? I know Serena, San Francisco, East Bay. Wow, much from the East Bay, Santa Cruz, and then we have some Santa Cruz members. Further south, like Gilroy. We do have some members from Gilroy. But we want to be fair, we want to be equitable. We will have an alternating venue up in the peninsula. It's been really tough. For a group of our size, it's been really difficult. But we're still working on it. Nancy, you want to talk about the meetup next month with Annie?
Sure. Next month we're going to be a little further up the peninsula. I know it doesn't count as peninsula, but Mountain View. So it's at a place called Hacker Dojo, which is a co-working community event place. And a lot of freelancers have space there. And they have a pretty big classroom. So we're going to be meeting there. Danny Ackerman, the Danny app. Her topic is going to be the what, the where, and the why, and how that's important to your eBay business. How you can get people to look at your items, and how it's important to think as a business. So, new venue for us. We're going to give it a try. Encourage you to sign up because there is a limit there. Okay, so the announcement just went out today. So sign up as soon as possible, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. That's going to be actually not too, just a few weeks. It's going to be Tuesday, February 11th. That's the date for the next meetup. So hope to see you all there.
Cool. Is Bill Breck here by any chance? Bill on here? By Knowing was a company that was one of our co-sponsors of the Holiday Mixer last month. So I'll just mention their name, but I'm going to say a few words. Sick stuff. A lot of people are sick. Everybody know people that are sick right now?
I just got over that crud.
Did you? Yeah, it's wonderful. Had it for 3 weeks. Sandy's had it. It's tons of fun.
It's not fun.
I want to mention, any of you participated in a top-rated seller webinar series? So a number of you have. So it's a monthly free webinar series of my company along with Therapy, Stamps.com, GoDaddy, online bookkeeping, Cabbage, and eBay Radio put on. It's free for sellers of any sizes. I encourage you to check it out. We have some really great presenters every month. Sandy's done 2 or 3 of them for us. We have Janelle Alms is going to be presenting on the 29th. Top 5 tips for wild success in 2014. Janelle is fantastic. She used to work for eBay, be an education trainer for eBay. It's a great session. I've seen parts of it. If you're interested, go to pagemates.com/TRSW, and you'll see not only Janelle's, we've got John Lawson doing a social media presentation in March. You'll see recordings that we've had from over the past 4 years or 3 years doing these webinars. So there are a lot of good resources there. So again, it's pagemates.com/TRSW. And check it out. We're averaging about 800 registrants, seller registrants per webinar, so they've been really popular. Let me see, last couple things here. How many of you are doing social media marketing already? How many of you are thinking that you need to be doing it? There you go. All right. I want to turn it over to Sandy, Social Sandy, as she's known. I don't know if it's up there, but I've been working with Sandy. She's been a member of our meetup group for a long time, and first did a Pinterest meetup, Pinterest for eBay sellers, which was our biggest meetup by a long shot at that point. There were over 100 folks for it. And then she did a webinar for us on Pinterest for eBay. I mean, it was the first webinar to crack 1,000 seller registrants for it. So Sandy really knows her stuff. She's a real pro and expert at social media marketing. And I'll hand over to Sandy.
Thank you, Chris. As Chris said, I'm just getting over, how did you put it, that crud?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to strain my voice. I'm going to be using this tonight. I'm a social media geek, but I started using social media so that I could grow my own eBay business and sell a lot more stuff. So hence my geekiness is going to be everywhere. We have a hashtag for tonight's event. If you're on Twitter or Facebook, or I don't know why you would put this on Pinterest, but if you did, or Instagram, it's hashtag eBay Meetup. And if you do tweet out or make any messages during the event, make sure you include that. This is Social Media Marketing 101 for e-commerce sellers. Let me start by saying there is so much information out there on social media marketing. It is not possible to get it into one place, 1 hour. You just can't do it. So what I've done is taken my best shot at just giving you some of the core concepts. I'm not really going to go into a lot of fine detail on the construction of the perfect post, but I'll kind of give you a sense of what that would look like on the different networks. My point is to give, my purpose tonight is to give you a starting point so that the complete mystification of social media marketing, if you've never done it before, it kind of clears up a little bit and you have some of the basic concepts down. We're a little behind schedule already, but basically I'll talk for roughly an hour, then we'll do questions. And then I'm going to do a demo on a tool called Social Beacon, and just for full disclosure, I have been working with the team that is developing Social Beacon, but I'm sharing it with you, and they are one of our sponsors. And I'm sharing it with you tonight because I think it's an excellent tool for eBay sellers, not because of my work with that company. Okay, so what we're going to cover tonight, I'm going to go over the definition and some key concepts for social media marketing. I will discuss 6 of the most used social media channels in the United States. Globally, it's a very different set of 6, but I'm going to talk about the ones most used here. I'm going to give you a rough rough idea of what concept marketing is, which is the approach I recommend for social media marketing. I'm going to tell you how to get started, and I'm going to talk a little bit about analytics. So let me see a show of hands. When somebody says you should do social media marketing, you kind of have an explosion of images like this in your brain, and you have no idea what it is. Anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Back there. Social media marketing is overwhelming. Social media is overwhelming, and everything I learned yesterday may or may not be relevant today. It changes very fast. It's a constant learning curve. So I'm gonna try and get you guys a little bit interactive here. So this is a show of hands. Who uses social media marketing on a personal level? I need to see hands. You chat, you look at grandkids' pictures. Somehow in your life you use it. And who's using it for business? Okay, we're going to shake it up a little bit more. We're going to need you to stand up if you personally use Instagram. I want to see everybody stand up if you use Instagram. All right, have a seat. Stand up if you use Twitter. Have a seat. Stand up if you use YouTube. Ever. Have a seat. How about Facebook? And Pinterest. Oh yeah. I like that. Oh yeah. As you can see, it's a very mixed bag. Different people some people are on multiple networks. Just something to take note of. Actually, this is data from the Pew Research Center's Internet Project, and it is one of the highest quality surveys that is performed. That's why I draw a lot of data from this particular one. And it's also done frequently, so the data is generally pretty current. This survey is of people in English-speaking countries. And on their last survey, which was done between August and September, 73% of online adults were found to use social media as networking sites. And 42% of them are going to be using multiple sites, as we just saw. And what is social media marketing? Social media marketing, let me start with what it isn't. It's not this. Who's seen posts like this in their feed? eBay sellers who are friends, who are trying to get started, and God bless them for it. And they put up a picture that you're not quite sure what the picture is because it auto-cropped really badly. There's no personal note, no message, just the text that comes over. This one happens to be an Etsy listing because I didn't want to pick on any eBay sellers in the room. And bless their heart for trying, but this is not it. This doesn't work. If you see this in your feeds, you just go right past it. Nobody reads, nobody clicks through, unless you have this unbridled curiosity to figure out what is in that picture. I can't Social media marketing is building a relationship and having two-way conversations with people who choose to follow you. It's using new technologies like your smartphone and your computer and your tablet, your iPad, to reach people, and they can reach back to you too. It's two-way conversation. It gives you visibility off of eBay.com. Maybe somebody's not in the mood to shop, but they are in the mood to kind of, play their games on Facebook or hang out with their friends and share pictures on Instagram. It puts you everywhere they are. It puts you there all the time. And it gives you a chance to maintain engagement with your customers. If you do things like drop a package insert with your social media presence, the addresses, into the boxes when you ship something out, they may really have a great experience. They may decide to follow you. And then the customer is going to be there all the time. You're going to have a constant ongoing relationship with that person. Social media marketing is extremely mobile. Of all the Facebook users in the world, 189 million of them don't use a computer to go on Facebook. They are mobile only, phone and tablet only. Instagram, while you can go to Instagram.com and kind of look at pictures, you can't even change your profile picture on Instagram.com. You have to do all of this from your phone. It's a purely mobile channel. And more people are using Pinterest mobile apps than are actually going to Pinterest.com and using the website. That blew my mind when I found that out. I want to manage expectations on what social media marketing is. Social media marketing takes time. You're going to slowly build your audience and build a following. It's a way to build your brand, so that in the crazy world that exists someday where you decide you want to leave eBay and not sell on eBay anymore because you've become so wildly successful, you're selling it yourself on your own website, the customers can still find you. You're not going to lose all of the work that you've established building a relationship. Social media marketing will help you build your search engine optimization, or the new term, which is online audience optimization. There's a big conversation going on right now that search SEO is dead. It's now OAO. And Serena, you had an article that you shared about that. Online audience optimization and the way the search engines like Google and Bing are working now is they're giving weight. And when an item comes, when you search for something, let's say you search for a blue t-shirt. Blue t-shirts that have had conversations in a public social media way are going to be, that are positive conversations, are going to start ranking higher than blue t-shirts that have not been in social media at all. This is for the public social media. So if you have your Facebook account locked down so people can't see it, it's not public, it won't make a difference. But if you have a public business page, or you're on Twitter, and you have these links back to your item pages, it's starting to become a factor. And it's starting to help your page rank on the outside search engines. And social media marketing is going to help you slowly increase your sales over time. It is not a magic bullet. It is not going on Facebook today is going to get you, $2,000 in new sales overnight. You're going to sell out all your inventory and you're done. It's not how it works. I wish, but it's not how it works. Social media marketing, I want to say this right up front, it is not for everybody. If you are brand new to eBay, have never worked in e-commerce before, and are still trying to figure out what the heck you're doing, and what is buy it now, and how did I get that offer, and all these different variables, now is not the time. Social media marketing takes a lot of work and a lot of planning, and it's not something you're going to want to start overnight. It is important to get started though once you've established your business and once you've established you're in this for the long haul. So those are the people who should be using it. And I'm going to invite Carly to come up for a minute. Carly is our millennial for the evening. Different people use social media in different ways, as we've already seen, and I'm going to ask her to talk for a few minutes about her experience and how she and her friends use social media. Because you want to sell to them.
Hi, I'm Carly. I'm 17, and I'll list a few of the social networking I have because I have quite a few of them. I have a Facebook, I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram, I have a Snapchat, I have a Tumblr, and I have an Etsy. I'm pretty sure I think that's it. But the most used right now, at least for me and my friends, is Twitter and Instagram. Facebook is kind of going away right now for my friends, because I feel like for us, your friends on Facebook are like, now you have your parents, and you have your aunts and uncles, you have your cousins, so people that can pretty much tell your parents what you're posting. So the majority of my friends are on Twitter. And a couple people even on Twitter are tweeting like, what's Facebook? Like, nobody's even on it. But I know there's a lot of people still. But I'm on Twitter probably 3 times as much as I'm on Facebook anymore. And I'm also on Pinterest a huge amount of the time. The cool thing with Pinterest is when you find something that you like, it clicks the link straight through to the website that's selling the product. So I have like my board on Pinterest that's called my wish list board. Someone's like, oh, what do I want for Christmas? Oh, go look at my wish list board. So it tells you pretty much like what you want to buy, and then when I actually have money, I can go to my wish list board and click through and buy it. But most of my time is spent on Twitter, Instagram, or Pinterest.
Yeah, Twitter's the public.
Yeah.
Most people don't have
Oh yeah, Twitter's just open. Twitter, you can post what you're thinking in that very exact minute, so there isn't much of a filter for very many people on Twitter. And I think that's also why more people are going to Twitter, because their parents aren't on it yet. And so there's just a lot of straightforward thoughts right away on the Twitter. And Twitter is updated every second. I could go onto Twitter, I'll go check my Instagram, go back to Twitter, and everything's brand new again. So it's very quickly updated all the time with information.
Thank you. Maybe Carly will have Okay, so this is where Carly's not, is Mom Book, Facebook. But I don't want you to discount Facebook at all. Facebook is the #2 most visited website in the entire world. 1 in 5 pages viewed on the internet are viewed on Facebook. Facebook is very popular. It has over 1 billion users who are active. Facebook is significant. Facebook is especially popular with the nursing home crowd. I can't tell you how many, I don't know that many people who are in their 90s But everyone I know who's in their 90s and in their 80s has an iPad and they're on Facebook. Because they want to see the pictures of their kids, their grandkids, their great-grandkids. They want to know what's going on. But not Carly.
I'm still on Facebook too.
And Facebook and all social media are incredibly mobile now. Facebook has 874 million mobile users. That's almost a billion mobile users who only use it on their phone. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. There's two different things with Facebook I want to make very clear. With Facebook, you're going to have a personal account. That's what most everyone in this room has. Hi, my name is Jan. I am on Facebook. Here's my Facebook page, and here's pictures of my kids, my puppy, my latest knitting project, my trip to Italy. You went to Italy. There you go. Just a second. You had a fabulous time. Here's the gelato she ate. There's also the ability, once you've established your identity as a real person and an individual, you can open a business page. The things you put on your business page, there is an absolute firewall between that and your personal page. So whatever is on your business page is your business identity. It could be a nonprofit, it could be your eBay business, it could be your book club, it could be any type of an organization that has its own page. But the things on your personal page never cross over to your business page, ever, 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 unless you intentionally go out of your way to put them there. A lot of people get confused about that. Facebook has been playing, a lot of you were here for our Cassini meeting, yes? So you understand a little bit about what an algorithm is. An algorithm is when somebody searches for something, an algorithm is a mathematical formula that decides, well, what's at the top of the list and what's below. The Facebook algorithm has been changing drastically, and since December, only between 3 and 5% of your business posts are going to organically show up in your followers' feeds. If you want to reach people beyond that, you need to start paying advertising. It's not expensive. But keep in mind, that's not the only thing Facebook does for you. It builds a presence too. It shows that you're legitimate. It shows you're a real person, you're a real brand. And this is just some statistics behind what Carly was telling us, actually. Between 2011 and 2014, the 13 to 17 age group has declined Facebook usage by 25%. These are people who aren't even on Facebook anymore. 25% decline. In that same time, the 55 up group, which I think is an awfully narrow, huge group, it should be a little bit more narrow, but 55 up has increased by 80%. So you want to be sensitive to these numbers. And I may have forgotten to say this. The slide presentation is going to be online later for everybody so that you can go back through it at your leisure. Sorry about that. And we'll send the link out to the numbers. Let's talk a little bit about Twitter. Twitter is this funny little bird. And who knows the name of the bird? I have a prize if you know the name of the bird. Anybody? It's a great, okay. His name is Larry. After Larry Bird, the basketball player.
I got it.
His name is Larry. Twitter is completely public. 99.999% public. There is a way to make a super secret private account, but nobody does it, except for really paranoid people. Anything you put out on Twitter is public. The whole world will see it and can see it. Hashtags were born here, and they're critical to use inside of Twitter. Is there anybody who needs me to explain what a hashtag is? Okay, thank you. Well, I wasn't sure. Hashtag is any keyword, keyword, that has a little hash sign in front of it. And it's simply used as a way of saying, this is an important word, people are going to want to search for it. That's all it is. You take a strong word, so let's say, what do you sell? collectible, Japanese collectibles. Maybe a nice decorative piece for the home. Nice decorative Japanese collectible for the home. You can put hashtag Japanese, so people who are interested in things of Japanese culture, search hashtag Japanese, and your tweet will show up in the list. It's that simple. In the results when somebody searches for hashtag Japanese. Now you may show up really far down because everything in Twitter is chronological in the natural results.
So that hashtag, excuse me, just to clarify, that hashtag and the word following is sort of like a search.
It simplifies and organizes search.
Right, okay.
And there's no rule as to what gets a hashtag and what doesn't. It's just kind of a common sense thing. So in your listing, you may not want to put hashtag eBay because how many eBay items are out there on Twitter? And just because somebody likes eBay doesn't mean they're shopping for Japanese collectibles. You're not limited to how many hashtags you use, but it gets really tacky really fast if it's hashtag, 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 hashtag. My recommendation is to use 1 in a tweet. You can use 2 to 3 without being a jerk. But anything beyond that, and you're kind of getting a little sketchy. Twitter is really popular with the younger demographic. Twitter now it used to be text only, but in the last few months they've been changing what they let you do. And now Twitter, some posts, if you have a photo, will actually show the photo in the feed instead of just a bunch of words. And the same is true of the Twitter Vine videos. And all of your posts show up in your followers' feeds, unlike Facebook, which is just 3 to 5% if you have a business page. But what you want to keep in mind is that it's chronological. So if somebody is following 2,000, 3,000 people, and you post, it could be off the page in a half a second. If they're following 100 people, it'll stay up there for a while. That's why hashtags are important for people who are going back to search. And Google Plus. Google Plus is, you know the expression, a horse of a different color? Google Plus is totally its own little animal. It's not a social media network in the traditional sense. What it is it's a layer that lives on top of all of Google's other products, and it marries all of their different products together. Who has an Android phone in the room? Keep your hands up. For the people who have an Android phone, are you on Google Plus?
Yes.
Put your hands down if it's no. Google Plus. The thing is, pretty much everybody with an Android phone is on Google Plus, whether they know it or not, because your photos, if you send your photos up, that's where they go live. My sister didn't know she was on Google Plus until I explained it to her. It's like, yes, I got the link, and the Google Plus pictures are very cute. She's like, what's Google Plus? It's like, don't worry about it, the kids are very cute. There's now over 1 billion, sorry, I dropped the word, Google accounts. Over 1 billion Google accounts. What did I put there? There are now over 1 billion Google accounts with Google Plus enabled. That's what that's supposed to read. Sorry. Not sure what I did there. There's 359 monthly active users, and this is the part that staggers my mind. It's growing 33% a year. 33% a year. Year-over-year growth. Google Plus has only been around 3 years, and it's already got over 1 billion accounts. The 45 to 54-year-old bracket has increased its use on Google Plus by 56%. And hashtags work. They're less important than Google Plus for search. They're more important than Google Plus to kind of find out what's trending, what's popular. And people like to call me the Pinterest diva or the Pinterest princess. I'm not sure which I am, but I do a lot of work on Pinterest. Pinterest is extremely visual. If you don't have good pictures, don't go on Pinterest as a marketer. Full stop. You have to have exceptional pictures. People are now using Pinterest like a search engine. They go there for ideas. So if you're, for example, planning a wedding, I don't know. Somebody in the room might be planning a wedding because they think it's fun. Even if they're 17 and aren't engaged. So you go to Pinterest to get ideas for inspiration. You might, maybe one day it's like, oh, what should I do for my hair for the wedding? So they'll search, wedding hair, or Pinterest wedding hairdo ideas, or whatever search term they come up with. And there's picture after picture after picture of ideas. Now, smart marketers who sell wedding fashion, maybe there's like, I don't know, what do they call it, tiara that would go into the hairdo. You share the hairdo with the tiara worked in, and it clicks through. If they really like it, they can buy it there on the spot. 33% of all online women are on Pinterest at this point, but only 8% of men. And people who use Pinterest tend to have a little bit more money than people who don't. They're a little bit more affluent. This is my favorite part of Pinterest. Unlike Facebook, who has this really obnoxious algorithm that you have to constantly use it and stay busy so people can see your things, Pinterest doesn't care. It's like Twitter in that it's all chronological. Pins are just in there by the time that they were put in. And pins have a really long longevity. So you can pin something today. A month from now, you're still picking up repins and likes and shares and click-throughs. For that reason, if you're an eBay seller using Pinterest, I highly recommend only pin items in the good to cancel format. Because if you run it at auction, it ends, you forgot, you relist it, you sell similar, it's going to be a dead link, and that's a chronic problem.
I just link it to my eBay store instead.
You have to be careful with that, because you could technically be violating Pinterest terms and conditions.
Really?
If you're showing an item for sale, and you're linking to a website of other things for sale, once that item is sold out, technically that's spam. So be careful with that.
Okay.
You probably only get reported on a pin-by-pin basis, and it would have to happen so much to create problems for your account. But from a user perspective, let's say you saw, what do you shop for online?
Women's clothing.
Okay, you're shopping for women's clothing. You see this super cute pair of shoes. I like shoes.
Got these on.
So you see a super cute pair of shoes, and you click, because you decide, I've got to have those are exactly what I've been looking for, that's it. And it takes you to a website, a page that sells everything. What kind of an experience is that for you?
I personally would just do a control find and find the word of what it says the listing is.
But what
And
about
see
your
if it comes
sister,
up.
what about if you have a sister who's an eBay seller, she does it? Should be kind of
I guess
annoying.
she'd probably be disappointed.
Yeah, it's not a good user experience.
Okay.
Nothing wrong technically with doing it except for the questionable spam issue, but it's not a good user experience. eBay sellers understand, non-eBay sellers, not as much. Hashtags work on Pinterest, and they work, again, to organize themes. A really popular on Pinterest is hashtag DIY, do it yourself. People love do-it-yourself projects on Pinterest. So maybe if you have a blog, you show people how to refinish a bookcase with a certain kind of a paint technique. You do an article on the blog on this. But guess what? You're an eBay seller and you sell the paint and the sponge, right? So then in the article you refer to that. That's a way of driving business. So hashtags work. And at this time you cannot pay to market on Pinterest as an average person. But that's going to be coming soon. When soon is? They're starting with big companies like eBay and who else is out there? REI, really large corporations. And then they're going to be getting down to the smaller folks. Instagram! I am so excited about Instagram. I can't even tell you. Okay, I am that obnoxious person in the Bay Area who has a Windows phone. It's me. When somebody says, who has a Windows phone? Say, I saw her. She was over at that eBay thing. And we just got Instagram Christmas week. It was like a Christmas present. It was so cool. And it works, which was even cooler. Instagram is mobile. Don't even try and do it on a computer unless you need to relook at a picture you sent to make sure that you actually put a picture up. Instagram is more popular with people who live in urban areas, high concentration of people. As we speak, they are rolling out a paid advertising option right now, but they don't have one yet. They announced it in October. They're phasing in brands little by little, starting with big companies and we'll get down to us. And hashtags are very important to the search experience on Instagram. Now, here's the tricky thing with Instagram. You can't put a link in a post. So Instagram is about building your brand and building an experience for your users and building trust. You can put a link to your store in your profile, but you cannot put it in the post itself. Okay? It's a very quirky, strange thing. And I think when I asked about YouTube, just about everybody stood up, and those that didn't just didn't want to stand up. I could tell by the look on their face. YouTube reaches more adults between 1834 than Comcast, than Time Warner Cable, than your cable network. Any cable network. That's huge. And it's free. You don't have to pay for YouTube. You just have to pay for the internet connection. So I guess the cable company gets you anyway. It's the second largest search engine on the internet after Google. And for millennials, it's often the most used search engine. They know they want to look up how to do something, they just go right to YouTube and find a video. Facebook, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, changed how YouTube videos show in your feed. And now if somebody shares a link to a video and that feeds up, it actually starts playing without the sound on it. And it's really cool. You've seen it.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of, like, oh, no, I can't stop watching.
But it's fun.
It is, yeah, exactly.
YouTube videos can also be played inside of Pinterest without leaving Pinterest. But if you do that, they don't start playing automatically. You actually have to push the button. And YouTube has reached 1 billion monthly users. Anyone hear of the famous song last year, Gangnam Style?
Oh, yeah.
That's thanks to Gangnam Style. It's what pushed everybody over the top, brought them over that number. So, this morning, I wanted to give you something real to kind of experience. So I created a post, and I had different goals for different social media networks. For Pinterest and for Facebook, I wanted to drive people to this page. I have no idea who this eBay seller is, but this eBay seller, Save a Lot 2009, are you in the room? I don't even know where this person is located in the world. But they have a very nice page, and they have very nice pictures of their coffee mugs, their nice descriptions. I said, you know what? I'll drive some business here. So what I did is I found their store page, and then, let's see, you can do a search right here, okay? I searched for mug. I pushed the search button, and then once that finished loading, I copied the link at the top. So what it's going to do for this particular post you'll see in a minute is send people to the mug search inside of the store.
That's just Starbucks mugs now.
That's all they happen to have in their store, but it could have been anything. You'll see in a minute. My goal with Instagram and Twitter for these posts you're about to see was to create engagement with followers, build some brand awareness for my Social Sandy brand, and increase cross-channel connection with my followers. So I'm new on Instagram. I have a much larger audience on Twitter. So what I did is I shared it on Instagram and then pushed the Instagram feed over to Twitter, so that my people on Twitter could see, oh, she's on Instagram now, I can follow her over there. So this is the post I put together, and this is my actual coffee from this morning. It was delicious. I took this picture with my smartphone, my Windows, not Apple, my Windows smartphone. And I didn't apply any filters to it, I just cropped it. I added text at the bottom that says, nothing is more decadent than that first sip. This is the sort of thing you might see first thing in the morning, you're like, yeah, coffee, good, coffee, good. You might share it. And my copy at the top, the text I wrote says, shouldn't your coffee have a mug that is worthy? So it's just kind of a generic mug. I'm not selling a specific product, which is different than what you were talking about when you're selling a specific product on Pinterest. And if somebody's like, yeah, my coffee mug sucks, they might click through. I did use...
So that link there is the linked page, right?
Yeah, the link was this long, literally. So I actually, goo.gl will give you a link shortener that you can actually track click-throughs and statistics on it. And this is what I put on Pinterest. The image is the same, but you notice my copy at the bottom is different. It says, the copy says nothing is more decadent than that first sip. Because if I had said, shouldn't your coffee have a mug that is worthy, that's a little pushy on Pinterest. Pinterest is more subtle, it's softer. But if somebody's really excited, they can click the picture, it'll take them right through to that link that I showed you. And this is how it looked on Instagram. Now this image is slightly different. It's got a little bit warmer feel to it. I used one of the filters on Instagram to kind of warm it up and make it look more like an Instagram picture. There's no link at all because I'm just trying to build awareness and brand awareness. And the copy says nothing is more decadent than that first sip, #coffee. And then I pushed that over to Twitter. And what's nice about this is that the text, nothing is more decadent than that first sip, #coffee, it works by itself without the picture. It's cute, it's funny, and if somebody's feeling the same thing, they might share it and retweet it with an LOL or a haha next to it. And I'll show you in just a minute how that all goes together. Excuse me for just 1 second. So, you're ready to get started. You need about 2 hours a week to do this right. And you can sit down and do it on a Saturday, just kind of have a block of time set up, and then schedule things to go out for the week. You don't have to do them all at once. It doesn't have to cost you anything except time, but once you've grown your audience and it'll stabilize or plateau, you may want to spend a little bit of money at that point, maybe $50 a month, to do some social media ads and promoted posts. Fundamentally with social media marketing, you want to understand the nuances of your platform. The Pinterest user wants a different experience than the Facebook user, who wants a different experience than the Twitter user. To do this right, you need to understand how each platform is a little bit different than the one before it. Use a distinct voice, and that distinct voice is your voice. It's the way you would talk to people if you were in the room with them. You don't want to sound like a company, you want to sound like a person, somebody they can connect with. And when using social media marketing, always have in the back of your mind, you want to be driving your business goals. What is your main goal? Do you want to sell that backpack that you got on liquidation and you got 400 of them sitting in a box in the corner? Or do you just want to slowly grow your business over time? You're going to have different goals, and you want to make sure you drive your specific business goals. When you're planning your content, what you're going to be sharing, this is a nice quote from a professor at Northwestern University. The people you want to reach will pay attention to the content if it enhances their lives in a way they value. So if I had put up a picture of a Starbucks coffee mug and said, hey, I just put this in my eBay store, look at ebay.com with a link to it, that would be kind of boring and not very exciting, but I connect with people on an emotional level first thing in the morning before they had their coffee. So it was different, it was personal. Make an emotional connection, use your own voice. When you have a product or a brand, you're going to have a sense of who your customer is. Is my customer a 16-year-old high school kid who goes through a different iPhone case every week? So I sell iPhone cases. Is my customer, a young bride planning her wedding? Is my customer an elderly gentleman who, his wife has passed away and he's living in a nursing home and just wants to see pictures of his grandkids? So understand who your customer is, and when you're planning what content you're going to share, you want to make sure you're sharing things that would be of interest and of value to them. Gary Vaynerchuk is a big social media guru, and this is his newest book. It just came out a couple of months ago called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And he says you need to offer infotainment. And I say also inspiration. And you want to always be native. Always remember, you want to use the voice of that social media channel that you're on. The number one fundamental rule when you put something up, would I engage with this if I saw it in my feed? Would I share it? Would I like it? Would I click through? Because if the answer is no, if you're boring yourself with your own content to the point that you don't even want to see it, it's probably not something you want to share. I'm not sure if I think I glossed past this on the last earlier slide. Only share about maybe one item a day as you're getting started. You don't have to share hundreds and hundreds a day. And if you sit down a couple hours on a Saturday and plan it out, it won't take you long at all. So bringing it all together, I'm not sure, those are kind of small pictures all smushed together. But this is what those different slides photos look like on the 4 different channels I sent it out to. So the first one is Facebook, then Pinterest, then Instagram, and then my Twitter is at the bottom. And I have results, so you can see what worked and what didn't. So it was instantly a hit on Instagram. My engagement was 20% of my 20% of my user base. On Facebook, of the people who saw the post, I reached 17% of my user base engaged with it. And that's pretty significant, considering only not very many people saw it all. It was such a small number they sent it to. But of those that saw it, 17% engaged. And yet on Pinterest and Twitter, it was a miss. So 2 sites I had overwhelming success. 2 sites was a dismal failure, at least in the time frame. Now Pinterest, again, it can last for months and months. But in the time frame I was using it, that was the success rate. So you're going to have a lot of trial and error. You always have to monitor what you're doing, try new things, don't be afraid. And you'll see that. We already talked about this for Facebook, Google+, and YouTube. You need a personal account first, then you create a business page. Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram, you can go right to the business page. You don't have to go through the 2 steps. When you fill in your data for your business accounts, use strong keywords. Make sure you fill in every single field. The reason you want to do that is it feeds out to search engines so you can get found outside of the social media channel itself. You always and only want to use high quality images, but never more important than in your cover photo and your header photo and in your little logo or personal picture. And whenever possible, marry the different sites together. So Pinterest lets you put a link back to your Facebook and Twitter. Do it. YouTube lets you put a link pretty much to anything. Do it. So that people can find you on the different channels. When you want to go out and start finding followers, first thing you want to do is be social. And the best way to do that is to just invite yourself to parties that nobody invited you to. This is huge on Twitter. So you may be, what's something you might shop for? You might ask friends about your needing an opinion.
Home decor.
Okay, so you're decorating your bathroom, and you're trying to decide between what kind of tiles to get. So somebody who sells grout on, I don't know why they would sell grout on eBay, but if they sell grout on eBay, they could drop into the conversation and say, well, tile 1 that you chose has will be this hard to clean, and tile 2 that you chose will be this hard to clean. Just thought I'd let you know. That might be really useful information. You're jumping in, you're being social, you're engaging with people. You're not selling them grout. But they'll see the name of your business, they may click through, they may come back, and you can start a back and forth conversation, and they could get you as a new customer because you desperately need grout for this tile that you're putting in. Desperate. This is a little sneaky, but ask your family and friends explicitly and personally. Whenever I have my clients start with a new channel, the first thing I want them to do when they're ready, once it's all built out and they're ready to start showing it to people, I say, okay, you need to send a personal message, not just, hey guys, look at my site to the world in the feed, but send a personal message to mom, your sister, your best friend. This is the link to my new page. Will you please like it? You're awesome, thank you. If it's in that big feed that gets lost, you won't have a very good response rate. But if it's a personal message to them, they will. And that's an easy way to get even up to 50 people just overnight. The reason you want to do that is because it kind of gives more legitimacy when you start to go after other people. They'll be like, oh, well, 50 people have already followed it, so, I can go from there. Yeah, I'll follow that. I'll see what they're about for a while. Follow other people's pages that seem like they might be of interest to your audience. So in the example of, redecorating the bathroom, other things people might need is, flooring for the bathroom. They might need mirrors, they might need lighting. So these are the kind of brands and pages you could follow. And then as you see something helpful, you could share it out to your audience. And that's another good way to grow and get more followers. And I want to show you a case study. This is my really good friend, Kathy Terrell. Kathy, no relation to Joe. No relation to Joe. Kathy lives in Manhattan. She is an actress who was once upon a time on All My Children. And she is an eBay seller, and she's awesome. And she has an eBay store called New York City Fitness, Family, and Finds. On her Facebook feed, she's very focused on her hometown, which is New York City. She shares a lot of original content, especially her own pictures of Manhattan. A lot of snow pictures right now. She does a really good balance of not selling and selling all at the same time. And the rule of thumb for that is 80% not selling, 20% selling when you're creating your posts. 80% of them are not about selling stuff, 20% are about selling stuff.
Question?
Yeah.
So you've got a personal Facebook page,
Yes.
and then you start a business Facebook page, and the two are separate. So on the business Facebook page, you're still just being social.
80% of what you put on the business page should be things of interest to potential customers, which is social, it's relaxed, it's friendly, it's no pressure, you're not selling anything. And then 20, because you want to build trust with them, and then 20% of what they see is, oh, by the way, we just put this in.
Got it.
And I'm going to go ahead and take this over to Kathy's Facebook page and show you. Would you hold up for 1 second, please? See if I can remember how to do this. So this is what you land on when you go to her Facebook page. And pretty much most of what she sells is fitness equipment and anything related to Manhattan. So that's her thing. And it's visually evident from this beautiful cover photo that she has. It's an AR skyline. And then here, she has information on her business. She's cross-promoting herself on Twitter so that her followers know she's on Twitter. She's sharing an article that she wrote for her blog about motivation and how it's gonna help you get through the day. She's in New York. Here's information on restaurants in New York. And then over here, she's selling a DVD on fitness, which is also key to her brand. And then more pictures of the New York skyline, snow day here in New York City. Everything in here is just kind of pleasant and really nice, and it feels like you're on a little vacation to Manhattan, and it's a soft sell. And it's really effective, and she's got over 250 followers, and it's actually growing pretty quickly. There she's selling a pair of baby Jordans. I know, right? So I just wanted to show you this as an example of what kinds of content you can share that's not always buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And when she is selling an item, look what she does. She doesn't just use the default, look what I found on eBay. She actually types in something that's relevant and informational. Time for some last-minute gift shopping on the internet. So much more pleasant than the long lines in the stores. And then there's an idea for a kid, or a grown-up guy kid, or a girl kid at the end of it. So this is just a really nice example. Which buttons did I push next? And the last thing I'm going to talk about is kind of how to measure results. And I'm going to show you a quick demonstration on the eBay traffic reports because it's really hard to find information on how to use eBay traffic reports. If you have a store subscription, eBay traffic reports are included in your store subscription. You can't pay for it without a store. It's either you have a store and you get it or you don't have it. What it can tell you is how many people are landing on your pages and where that traffic is coming from. What it can't tell you is I sold this dry erase marker yesterday. Where did the traffic come from to sell that dry erase marker? It won't tell you where the original link was. And that information is just not available to eBay sellers. I promise you, I've spent the last 2 years, it has been my mission in life to find that, and it's just not available to us. Can you hold that for a second? Show you what that looks like. Does everybody know how to get to their traffic report? Anybody not know? Okay, I'll take it back. So on your my.ebay.com, go all the way down here, right there. All the way at the bottom, all the way on the right, traffic reports. It will prompt you to log in first, and then it's going to come right through to this page. And what you're going to see here in a snapshot, this is your traffic for the current month. And that green line is what was going on a year ago. I guess I had some kind of crazy sale. Oh, I did. Oh, that was my 99-cent clearance sale. Free shipping. That was a mistake. But it wasn't. Look at my traffic was 4,500 people in a day, so the traffic worked. And then there's a yellow line down there which says 4 weeks ago, and then my current traffic is just so low in comparison it doesn't even show. I've been quite sick the last month. I missed almost an entire month. So my numbers have fallen accordingly. So, and hold on one more second. What I'm going to do is take you back to a month where I had some yummy numbers. First I'm going to go into the traffic report. Then I go up here to the month. I go back. I'm just going to go back to August because I think I had really nice numbers in August. First you go back, but then you actually have to push the date to get that data to populate. And you would do the same thing to change the year here. So this is my total traffic for August. I had 4,088 page views in that month. And now I want to see, well, where did my traffic come from? I go over here to finding methods, click that, and I want to look at referring domains. And I'm going to very soon be putting out a YouTube video that walks through this, so if you missed something tonight, I'll make sure you guys all get the link. Ignore that pie chart at the top, it's absolutely useless. Because included in that 91.4% other websites is eBay, so you don't know eBay versus other sites, so that's why it's kind of useless. What you want to know is, here was the total traffic that it measured for that August, okay? And then here is where your traffic came from. For that month, 75.8% of my traffic came directly from eBay.com. Generally, you're going to see a number, if you're not using social media marketing, of around 90% or so. But because I was driving so much of my own traffic, it gobbled up some of the traffic, percentage-wise only, not by count. The full count of people who found me through eBay is the same, but the percentage fell because more percentage came from somewhere else. 8.2% came from Google.com, and Google.com.
Just a Google search?
Google search and Google Plus.
Got
Unfortunately, I haven't seen anywhere where Google Plus is split up. So it's the entire Google.com suite of everything. I had 2.8% of my traffic came from Facebook. Then we have eBay Canada, eBay Australia, eBay Germany, eBay UK. Where to get .it, don't even know. Pinterest, I had 0.7% of my traffic from Pinterest. Twitter appears on these reports as t.co, not as twitter.com. So t.co, that's Twitter. And then there's all kinds of other places my traffic came from that month. I was not using Instagram at that time, but it doesn't matter because Instagram you can't have links, right? So, and then one other note, this isn't really social media marketing related, but I think it's so important to understand how these reports work. If you want to see, okay, they found me from Pinterest, but where did they find me from Pinterest? You see the little magnifying glass right here? Click on that. And it brings up a report of the actual traffic, so you can see which of your pins performed the best, which of your pins performed less well. So I could go into this first one. So this, which is still available for sale on my eBay store. It is an upcycled hemp backpack made out of recycled rice bags in Nepal, fair trade. Yours for only $39.99. So that was pretty popular. And you see in my post here, I have a lot of strong keywords in there because I know it's going to go out to the search engines. And it was repinned 8 times. Okay? So, again, you'll get, if you push the magnifying glass, oh dear, where did it go? You get a report of where those instances came from, inside of Pinterest, inside of Google, inside of eBay. Okay? So, just wanted to show you that. Because knowing your numbers is really important to know if things are working or not. And I only have 2 more things to point you to, and then we're done. We're ready for lots and lots of questions. So Clout.com is really interesting. What Clout does is it gives you a social media score. There are 2 companies out there that are most widely known, Clout.com and Kred, K-R-E-D.com. I do not recommend you use Cred because Cred wants to access your personal messages inside of the social media tools. Clout does not. And Cred does not need that information. They don't need to know what you're having for dinner and buy milk on the way home or whatever messages somebody may have sent you. So I recommend Clout is also much larger. Your social media score is based on over 1,000 factors. It's a great way to take a pulse of if your social media is working or not, if people are engaging, are you having conversations with people, are you staying active? But I don't want you to assign too much value to the score. Like I said, it's taking the pulse. It's not a complete assessment, and it's based on an outside company's opinion of what is or isn't effective. And Clout.com, you can have a personal Clout score or a business Clout score. You can sign up for 2 separate accounts. As of right now, business accounts do not charge. I have this little feeling in the back of my neck, my spidey sense is tingling, so to speak. I think Clout is going to start charging for that at some point down the road in the next year or 2. It's just my personal opinion. It's not based on fact. But I think they're going to need to do that to stay financially solvent. And this is what Clout looks like when you go to your dashboard. It's got your picture. I can pull it in from Twitter, Facebook. As of today, my Clout score right now is a 59. My husband's is a 25, so. And again, I do this for a living. If you look here, it tells me the different networks I'm connected to. So another neat little factor for Clout is if you want someone to know where they can find you, you can just tell them to go to Clout, give them a link to your Clout profile, and they can find all these different links. Here they are. You've got Twitter, Facebook. Clout has their own internal thing. LinkedIn, Foursquare, Instagram. I forget which one that is, but Blogger and Google+. And then you can get it to break down what's affecting your score. So I know 71% of my score is coming from Facebook, 20% from Twitter, 7% from Instagram, and 1% from LinkedIn, and 1% from Clout. They used to have a really fun feature where you could compare yourself to all your friends, but I can't find where they moved that or they've turned it off. And the last thing I wanted to just show you is there are third-party tools that can help you with your social media marketing. Everything I've put up here is free. Free, 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 free. The first one I've already mentioned, socialbeacon.com. Then there's Fruit Social, and Fruit Social lives inside the eBay App Center, and Hootsuite.com. Hootsuite does have a basic, if you just have 1 or 2, maybe 3 accounts, you can use Hootsuite, but as soon as you get too many different social media accounts, they start charging you $10 or $12 a month. Not per account, just to have, the main account with them. But this is a little bit of the differences. So the features down the left column is all I'm going to walk through. The first is analytics. Will it give you data about how well you're doing on social media? Like, are people clicking? Are people commenting? Are people creating? Can you create a post through it? The next 3, does it pull in tools from, does it pull in all of your listings from eBay, from Etsy, from Amazon? So that inside of the tool, you can promote specific items. You don't have to go back to eBay, back to Amazon, back to the river. I'm sorry, I forgot where I was standing. You don't have to go to the river. And then which of the different social networks does it connect with? And again, you guys can study this later. I'm going to send the slides out to everybody. And thank you very much. That was awesome. We got right through that, so now we can take lots and lots of questions. That's my information. So I know there's questions. Let's start. Serena.
If you have a blog and you want to use that to kind of help drive traffic to your,
And then can you look at that one second?
my question is, if you have a blog and you want to use that to drive traffic to your site, how do you integrate that with all the different social media sites? I mean, I know that there's, things you can put on your blog to follow me and stuff like that, but is there another way, more effective way to do that? Or?
Basically, you're gonna have to install widgets on your blog, and that's the only way to do it. More questions? Yeah, she's gonna bring the mic back to you.
A couple of questions. On Pinterest, what I call dead pins, right? You have something for sale, you decide it sells,
Yes.
and it remains all the time. So do you have to selectively go and remove them, or just leave them there and scroll down and remain there for years?
Well, then, there's a couple of ways to answer that. The first is, Pinterest posts have the longest longevity of any of the other social media networks. So somebody could come a year and a half later and still find it. A quick workaround is simply to add a comment at the bottom that says, oh darn, you missed it, this sold on, and put the date that it sold. So that way when people click through, they're not expecting to land that they can buy the item. In my Pinterest account, I actually have a separate board, which is all of my sold items. So not only do I put that comment, I move it over to my sold items. And then the Social Beacon tool has a feature that if you pin through it, it will automatically redirect your dead pin link to a Pinterest-like feed of your items that are only your items. So it's pretty cool. So that people can search in there for more items. You can put a message at the top that says, we're sorry, that's sold out, but here's some more items from our store. So at least it's not dead and it goes back to somewhere.
A quick question on Facebook ads. You're actually paying Facebook to get a like, kind of. Can you do that? I can do that anywhere else too, right? Why do I have to pay Facebook? I can go to Fiverr.com, pay $5 and get. So those likes are a little higher quality in Facebook. Essentially you're buying likes, right?
Right. Facebook is an incredibly smart series of algorithms. Accounts that are set up when you can buy likes. This is a thing that you can do. You go on Craigslist, you go on Fiverr.com, you can buy likes. But what happens is those accounts, Facebook realizes they're not good accounts that are making all those likes, and they'll shut those accounts down. So when those accounts get shut down, your likes go away.
When you're talking, but when you were talking about advertising on Facebook before, you're talking about, advertising your products, right?
Well, at one point I did mention if you want to pay for advertising.
Right, for your products.
For your products, or to, actually a very popular tactic is just to advertise your page and to try to build likes to your page. I've paid money to do that, and it's a nice way to bring in more audience. There's two kinds of paid advertising on Facebook. There's the ads that when you're on a computer that you see on the right side that change all the time. And then there's the promoted posts, which are in your feed. And the ones that you want to do are the promoted posts in the feed, because if you're on a mobile device, if you're on a phone or an iPad, nobody's going to see the ads. They don't display. But those promoted posts show to everybody.
I'll apologize in advance because this might sound a little pessimistic. But according to your reports, 92%, I think it was 92% of your sales for that particular month came from eBay.
No, it was 75.
Oh, 70, oh, I read it wrong. Oh, well then my question is now moved. I was gonna say, is it worth your time that you spend doing all the other posts, and to get the payback that you're getting? But if it's only 75 and 25% is coming from other sources, then yeah, I see.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And that's with a lot of hard work over a long period of time. I don't want anyone thinking that they can do this and be at that number in 6 weeks. That was a year's worth of work that led up to that result.
Hi.
Hi.
I have two questions if you have time.
Totally. Let's go.
One was,
regarding Twitter, you mentioned that it's chronological, so if you tweet something, it can end up pretty far down the list, if somebody isn't already in the network or looking for you. So what do? Do people like repeatedly tweet something so that they appear more prominently than people that are just browsing?
Personally, I try to share on Facebook about once a day. I try to share on Twitter 3 to 5 times a day, but that's me personally, it's not necessary. I will say this, if it's not a network where you're gonna be spending time engaging back and forth in that two-way conversation, don't even be on that network. So if you're not putting Twitter as an app on your phone, and anytime somebody's going to, engage with you, or leave a comment, or retweet, or anything, your phone gives you an alert, it rings, or it shakes, and you're gonna jump in and do it, if you're not gonna give it that sort of attention, don't even go on that social network in the first place, because you can only hurt yourself.
So it's mostly about a contained network when you know certain people are linked to them, rather than it being a general advertising kind of place?
I would start with one social media channel that you're already on and already comfortable with, that you understand how it works.
Right.
Build a business page there, because my guess is that most of the people who you would sell products to are probably people fairly similar to yourself anyway. We always tend to self-select in these ways. And that's going to make it easier for you. So which social networks are you primarily on?
Most heavily Facebook or LinkedIn for other regular work, but I wouldn't really probably want to tap into that.
Okay, so I would say for your eBay business, if you want to start with social media marketing, start with a Facebook page, because you already understand how Facebook works.
Yes.
You know what a post is. You know how you click on the name and it takes you to that person's page. You understand the dynamics of that network. So start with a business page there. Grow it slowly over time. And once you feel like you're doing great, you're ready to take on the next thing, what's your products primarily? What do you sell?
Mostly collectibles, like mid-century modern, 50s to 70s stuff.
Oh, Pinterest and Instagram would eat that up.
Okay.
So I would say move over to Pinterest, or probably Pinterest, because Pinterest has a slightly older demographic of user who has more of a disposable income. Instagram has the younger users who don't have quite as much of a disposable income.
Okay.
So your clients would probably be on Pinterest.
Okay. The other question was, you mentioned, you were talking about Google, that GOO.GL gives you data on use. What did you
If
mean
you
by that?
go, actually, let me show, Jen, would you mind? I'll show you what that looks like. This is like bit.ly, it's another site, but I already have a Google account. So I sign into Google. Oh, now you're gonna get my personal email. Take notes quickly. Okay, so I'm logged into Google. Goo.gl. And then, oh, somebody's clicked at this point. I don't know if they clicked from Facebook or Pinterest, but at this point, somebody's clicked. So this was the original link here. Right? Look at how long that link is. I don't want to put that on Facebook. It's ugly. It's ugly. So that's why I used a link shortener, and then I got this cute
Oh,
little.
so it's a link shortener.
It's a link shortener.
Okay, so you
Now
would
I get
just
it.
copy and paste your long link there, it would just give you a short.
It, not only does it give you a shorten, it gives you a little teeny bit of tracking information.
Got it.
And where's the mic at? Okay, here, and then back over to
Well,
Serena.
I just have a question. Is it like tiny URL
Yes,
without, so tiny URL wouldn't have to track it this way?
yes.
As I understand it, is this on?
Yeah.
As I understand it, you can open a Facebook account that is a business account without associating it with a personal account?
That's not correct. You
Okay.
have to, you
I mean,
have
even-
to,
Even some stores like Target, for example, that's on Facebook, they have a personal account behind the Target store.
so your personal account is like, I don't know how to describe it because it's so unique to these social media channels. I'm a person, I'm walking around the room, I exist, I'm real, I breathe, I shop. A business entity is not a person. So there has to be a person to create the business page. Facebook works this way, Google works this way, and it's just the way they do it. But that being said, once you've proven to Facebook you're a real person and you exist and you're not a scammer and you're not a computer, you don't ever have to use your personal Facebook account except for when you want to access your business account. So there's no rule that says you have to be a Facebook user all of a sudden. But you do have to establish your identity to get into the
The real account has to be set up as the admin. So for example, I'm the admin account for eBay's Facebook presence.
There you go. Hi. Thank you.
I'd like to follow up on a comment made earlier about LinkedIn, and I was going to ask you your opinion on it. It's not included in your presentation. Do you feel that LinkedIn is not appropriate for e-commerce sellers to promote their business?
I think LinkedIn is most successfully used by people who are trying to build the brand of their own identity. And they want to attach themselves to a company that they own and operate or a company that they work for. But I don't think LinkedIn is going to drive a whole lot of business to the average eBay seller. I have a LinkedIn account for my Office Threads page. I can show it to you if you want to see what that looks like. So, this is what my LinkedIn page looks like. I have it because I wanted to exist on this social network, but the only thing I do with this LinkedIn account is attach it back to my personal profile on LinkedIn. So it's like, I work at Office Threads, and you can click it now, and it's real, and it's a company that shows you this really cool lady hanging off a chair. I have a lot of friends that are service providers, like graphic designers and things like that. It makes a lot more sense for them to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn than it does for people selling small items.
Just noticing that picture that you have, and I'm kind of guessing that's not your very own model. And I'm wondering if you get that picture from somewhere else, is it copyrighted? And are you in any kind of trespassing thing?
That's the best question ever. The last minute. Thank you. I highly recommend a service called iStockPhoto.com. For $20 or $19.99, you can buy 10 credits. And you can use those credits to buy stock photos. This one cost me, if I had gotten the small version, it would have cost me 1 credit. This probably cost me about 4 credits or $5 or $6. You do not want to just grab images off the internet. You will get sued, and you will get really nasty letters really fast, especially if Getty Images owns that picture. You want to protect yourself at all times. So iStockPhoto.com. When you find you need a picture that you can't take it yourself, like this would have been really hard for me to set up and very expensive to do a photo shoot. I spent $5 or $6. And I use it everywhere. I use it on my Pinterest. So I can show you that. I think I use it on my Pinterest. This is about to get really embarrassing. Hold on. Oh, also, my handle is the same for everything. It's Pinterest.com/OfficeThreads, Twitter.com/OfficeThreads, Facebook.com/OfficeThreads. You want to get the exact same address across everything. So there she is again, right? I I've also got the same visual brand across all of my items, all of my pages. Oop. There she is again. Oh yeah, she's on Twitter too. Hang on one second, Serena. But all I can remember is Twit. I'm having a moment, sorry. There she is again. So you see how there's this consistent visual brand across all of them? Let me get this question, then I'll come back over here. Thank you.
So my question is about the iStock photo.
Yeah.
If you buy that photo, does that preclude anybody else from buying it, or can somebody else buy it?
Other people can buy it, but at the most for the photos, because you can see how many people have bought it, it's at the most, I mean, 3 or 4 people are using that picture on the internet. I don't really care. You know, the odds of them landing on my page and landing on that page are so small. But you do run into danger with that, though, if you're just ripping pictures off the internet. Not only are the copyright issues, you've got everybody else has got the same picture out there. Also a danger for the free stock photos. They make, you know, there's sites that'll give you free stock photos, but they're giving those pictures to thousands and thousands of people.
And then on iStock photo, they probably have a disclaimer about that these are royalty-free images and stuff like that.
iStockphotos.com, I only buy the royalty-free images, so you pay for it once, and you have a license to use it in all of your spaces.
Okay.
You're welcome. And can you pass that, where was that other question? Thank you.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
So the first one is, if your product is not that excited, like for example, if you're selling chairs, so that means Pinterest is not the right channel to sell?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
So I say if the product is not that excited, like for example, you're selling chairs.
Chairs, okay.
Yeah, so that means Pinterest is not the right channel?
It depends on figuring out a way to make the channel work for you. So if you're selling a very basic, standard office chair that you could, you know, the one you're sitting in right now, there's nothing too exciting about it, although it's very comfortable. Pinterest may not be the great way, but if you can think of a really interesting way to stage the photo, then, and let's say maybe you have 10,000 chairs that you need to sell, so you've got a really big inventory. Might be worth it to hire a photographer, do a photo shoot, make that chair look really exciting and interesting if you've got 10,000 of them to sell. If you have one to sell, no. But if you have a really large quantity, you'll be selling it for a long time, you can make it work for you. And then you can build boards around how to adjust your monitor, because this is a chair for an office person, right? So how do you adjust your monitor so that you don't hurt your back at the end of the night? You know, how do you get a chair that's the right size for you? You could share articles about all those different things that people who buy chairs might be interested in. So there's ways to make it work. But maybe Pinterest might not be the best. It might be better just if it's, you know, one time, one chair, and have a Facebook page and just start there.
So my second question is, so I can use Google Analytics to track those social media channels, right?
Not if they're pointing back to your eBay page. It will just give you traffic. The one thing you can get from Google Analytics that you can't get from the eBay reports, and you need a plugin. I use K-I Googlealytics, which is in the eBay App Center. It's 99 cents a month. It will tell you what percentage of your traffic is mobile versus what percentage of your traffic is not mobile. But that's the only extra data that you can get from Google Analytics that you can't get from eBay.com or the sites themselves. Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
We have to wrap up by 9.
We have to wrap up by 9. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm going to take 2 more questions, and then at that point, I'm just going to do that quick demo on Social Beacon so you guys can see how that will work for you. And I think I saw 2 hands, one here, and then you'll be the last one. sorry. Who had a question? Okay, maybe just the one.
Hi, my name is Wayne. I have a startup helping merchants verify buyers using Facebook and LinkedIn. And the regular question that I have from our sellers is that how can we drive quality, high quality traffic from international? So
Tell me what
attract
you're doing again.
international buyers, but high quality.
Well, using social media,
Yes.
it'd be the same thing. Because Facebook.com, let me think for a second. But if you have a target country where you know where the buyers are,
Yep.
you would go to the network in that country. So for example, Orkut is a really big network, but it's big in South America. Nobody uses it here. And if you have a lot of clients in South America, I would use Orkut.com instead of using the ones that I referred to today. So find the networks they're using there. Does that answer?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, well, thank you so much for that. If anybody does not want to stick around for the Social Beacon demo, you can just sneak out now. But before we do that, we've got some prizes. Sherry's got prizes to give away, and then we're going to do a quick demo.
Oh,
If you want to give prizes away, I mean, maybe nobody wants prizes. Does anybody want prizes? Yes?
Okay,
No?
well, okay, the only way we can do it is to have you write your name down on this, on something, and then hand it in, so, because I don't have any way, unless you want to just,
Oh, my goodness.
do y'all have business cards?
You guys have business cards?
Okay. The name tag? Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you can drop in your name tags. You all have name tags, right? If you don't have a name tag, Terry will give you a post-it.
I'll give you a post-it, yeah, I'll give you something if you don't have a name tag.
It's Jan's birthday.
Okay.
My work best.
I'm going to come, I'll bring this around.
Oh, you got a bag?
Does anybody need something? I guess the name tags are good.
Bag and she'll pull it out. I still saw one. Are you the collector? I guess so. Okay, there you go. I should get the prize. All right.
In just a few minutes, you'll be able to easily share your marketplace items on your social networks, track your social success, and grow your e-commerce business. First, connect Social Beacon to your social networks. Now, connect your marketplaces. You're ready to share your first item. Electronics. And choose a marketplace. Now, for an interesting car available listings to share with your friends or business partners. In a message feed, containing each other networks specific to your popular share photos together your networks at once. It's that easy. Launch your posts for inspiring so you can share the products you sell. And social media measures the success of each post, which is working. Check out our guides and plays for to help you succeed. Get started now.
Okay, while they're getting the drawing sorted out in the back, I'm just going to go ahead and start. This is socialbeacon.com. When you join the account, you land on this page. here's the home page. And what it is it gives you a nice little dashboard to show you, this is your count, your follower count for Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. Shows the number of posts. I've been really bad. Like I said, I was sick for a month, so that's why it doesn't show a whole lot of posts. And then this is the engagement with those posts. It gives you an alert down here. So when I've shared an item out on social media and it sells, it's giving me an alert. By the way, that item sold, we're automatically redirecting it for you. I can go into that item, tells me it's sold out, and if I want, I can click on it and I can send it somewhere else, but it's all in one place. I get those alerts and I know it's landing right in there. So I could go in here and redirect it somewhere else just by plugging in a URL. So that's what the alerts are. And you can get your status on the different accounts over here on the left. This is the last 30 days worth of data. And I just want to show you how easy it is to make a post. So you click on New Post, and let's share one of my eBay items. It's already imported all of my eBay items. Let's see. How about this? Is this pretty? So let's go ahead and select this one. What's a big ticket to it like that? Takes a moment to load. It already pulls in the URL and the title for you. You have an option to schedule it or not. At this time, you cannot schedule for Pinterest only because Pinterest won't let it happen. They haven't released their API. So just know you can't schedule Pinterest, but you could for the others. And then down here, can I go over here? Can you just put this phone out? So I want to go ahead and type a message for this. Okay, so beautiful, lacy, and romantic. This Ralph Lauren Black Label top is perfect for Valentine's, okay? And as you saw, it automatically copied it over here on the right side as I was typing. So maybe I want to say Valentine's date night. I want to change it up a little bit so that the text is a little different, okay? And where do I want it to land? I just tell it where I want it to land. I want it to go to Office Threads. On Twitter, I can see I have 26 characters remaining. I haven't run out of my 140 characters. And on Pinterest, remember that hashtag is a beautiful thing, so there you go. You know what? I just have to make sure I'm logged into Pinterest for this to work, and I think I am, right? Okay. So that's it. I found it on eBay, I typed my text, I edited my text. It wants me to say, well, where do you want to put that on Pinterest? So let's pick one. About featured fashion, how does that sound? This is ledge to be fixed shortly. And it's done, it's on Pinterest. It's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. It's done, it's out. And I'm gonna go over to Mrs. Free. There it is. It's that simple. Oh, now we have questions. Yes.
Hi. I was just wondering where that inventory started from.
My eBay store.
Yes, but if I go there, do I have that inventory there?
You'll connect it with your eBay store. Or your eBay account. And it will pull in the things that you're selling.
So this setup is not something that I have to create? The setup
It
is there?
takes just a minute to set up. tell you what, I'll show you what that looks like again. I kind of skipped past that, I'm sorry. So here's socialbeacon.com, this is your landing page. I'm already a user, so I'm gonna log in. This is, when you first come to Social Beacon, this is what you see. And this is where you're going to click on the different ones to connect them right there. And then you're gonna click on the different ones to connect them right here. It's very easy.
Do I have to have an account in Pinterest and all of those?
You have to have your social media accounts before you go to use this tool. But they're all free. Yes?
Is there an image size issue? Like, I know in Twitter, it will not take some images too big.
Well, it's gonna pull your images down from eBay.com, so they're not gonna be too big because they're what eBay's already decided is a good size. And then it will scale it down accordingly to fit in the proper dimensions. You don't have to do anything with the photos.
How about from your website? Can you draw?
Yeah, if you wanna go to a, you may wanna share something that's not a social media item, not an eBay item. So, let's see, I had a site up here to share. Where did it, I've lost it. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm just searching for fashion blog, generic. Okay, so this is pink on pink. So let's say this is a link that I want to share. I just copy the URL at the top. I come over here to Social Beacon. I go to New Post. And I paste it in here. And as soon as I tab out of it, it's going to automatically pick all that up for me. The only difference is you need to add a title. I can use their default or I can add my own, so I'll just use their default. And let's see what picture, I kind of like that picture, so we'll use that picture. Add my message. What was wrong? Oh, sorry. Pretty in pink. It never gets old. And how about, that's fine, post it. So you would do this from your own website, same process. That's it.
Does Social Beacon contain your passwords, or do you have to be logged in already, or do you have to enter them after you're trying to post?
It actually is not going to contain your passwords. What it does is you authorize it to talk to Facebook. You authorize it to talk to Twitter. Is it a token, a cookie? You get something from those sites. That it's in the App Center on Facebook, it's in the App Center on Twitter, it's in the App Center on all these different things. So you're not going to give it your password at all. You're going to only give your password back to the original site. And the only exception to that is Pinterest. Pinterest, you don't even, all you have to do is be logged into Pinterest. You don't have any authorizations to go back and forth with. That if you're logged into Pinterest, it's going to work. Is there any other questions? Okay.
What if you make an error with the post?
If you make an error, just up here on the top it says View Posts, and then you can push this button. Say if I messed up on Facebook, click. I don't know why it's not displaying properly. We'll get that fixed. I could go here. It takes me right to the Facebook post, so I just push this button, and then I can delete it, and it's gone. But you'll need to do that for each site that you sent it out to. It's easy. So we're gonna draw some names. We've got 3 copies of the Right Hook. And then I'm gonna give away 2 half-hour social media consultations. So if your name is pulled as a winner, come up front immediately and we're gonna get you I'm gonna email you with the details. Thank you again, everyone, for coming tonight. If you do want to go ahead and sign up for Social Beacon right now, come on up front after we draw the names, and we can do some live sign-ups too. Thank you. All right, so what should this first one be for? Book or consultation? I heard consultation. Here's the winner. Well, I guess those are our 2 winners.
Sherry Smith?
Oh my God.
Sherry Smith. Layla. Leah.
Me? Really?
And you. Leela, sorry. Okay. So hold on tight for just a second. Let's draw the other names. That's okay. Just a second. Okay, I guess we have our 3 winners here.
Chris?
I didn't even put one in. We have a Chris, a Jan Rapp. It's your birthday. And Nguyen. Yay, congratulations. If all the winners can come up front, and anybody that wants to sign up for Social Beacon sign-ups come up over here. Winners, see Sherry over here, and Chris needs you for 1 second.
Yeah, just before we wrap up, how's that? Good session? Thanks very much to Sandy. She puts a lot of time and effort into putting this information together in presentations. A couple last things from me. One is thank very much to all of you for coming out. We know how traffic is in the Bay Area all the time. We really appreciate your time and your attention tonight. Again, glad it was valuable for you. The second thing is you'll get an email either tonight or tomorrow asking how the meetup was. I encourage you to take a look, click on it, rate us, number of stars, provide comments, positive, what we could improve on. We have a lot of people in the group, and we're always working hard to try and have good content every single month and do the best job that we can. But even if something wasn't that great, let us know about it. If it was, please share that too. That's how we're going to continue to make the group good as we move forward. And the last thing is, if you know friends or colleagues or family members that sell on eBay or other channels, please encourage them to come take a look at our group. We're over 850 members now. So we've gotten pretty darn big. We're the largest group out there for e-commerce sellers on Meetup, that I'm aware of anyway. But continue to share, spread the word, and again, always provide feedback to us. Help us make the group as good as we possibly can for you. So with that, thank you very much. If you want to sign up for my product, come on up here.